A car horn blares behind you. Your shoulders jump. Your heart slams against your ribs. And for a full half second, you have no idea why. That gap is the strangest part. Your body already reacted. Your mind is still catching up. Something in you decided you were in danger before you even knew what the danger was. Who made that call? It wasn't you. Not the you that thinks in words and makes plans and worries about rent. Something older made that decision. Something that has been making split-second survival calls for longer than language has existed. And it did not ask for your permission. Here is what actually happens inside your skull in that fraction of a second. Sound hits your ears. That signal has two possible routes it can take through your brain. One route is long. It travels to the thalamus, then up to the cortex, the part of you that thinks, analyzes, understands context. That route is smart. It's also slow. The other route is short. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades mapping this shortcut, and he found something remarkable. Raw sensory information can travel straight from the thalamus to the amygdala, skipping the thinking brain entirely. Ledoux called it the low road. It's crude, it's fast, and it doesn't care if it's wrong. By the time your cortex figures out that the threat was just a car horn, your amygdala has already fired. Your adrenal glands have already dumped stress hormones into your blood. Your muscles have already tensed to run or fight. You flinched before you understood. And that's not a flaw. That's the entire point. Think about what this system was built for. Not car horns, not deadlines. It was built for a world where the rustle in the grass was sometimes wind and sometimes a predator. In that world, hesitation was expensive. An animal that stopped to carefully analyze every sound before reacting didn't survive long enough to pass on its careful analytical genes. So evolution made a trade. It sacrificed accuracy for speed. Better to flinch at 100 harmless car horns than to freeze once in front of something that actually wants to kill you. Your nervous system inherited that math. It's still running the same calculation today, in a world that almost never contains lions. Psychologist Robert Zajonc argued something that unsettled a lot of his colleagues back in 1980. He proposed that emotional reactions can occur before and independently of any conscious cognitive processing. In plain terms, you can feel something before you know what it is you're feeling it about. Preference and fear come first. The explanation comes after, stitched together to make sense of a reaction that already happened. Does that bother you? It should. A little. It means a portion of your emotional life is being decided by a part of your brain that has never read a book, never learned your name, and doesn't know the difference between a stranger's raised hand and a threat. There's a reason horror movies work on you, even when you know exactly what's coming. Even when you've seen the trailer. Even when you're expecting the jump scare. Your cortex knows it's fake. Your amygdala doesn't get the memo in time. It reacts anyway, because the low road doesn't check with the part of you that bought the movie ticket. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio took this further with his patients who had damage to specific areas linking emotion to decision-making. What he found was counterintuitive. These patients could still reason logically. They could still list pros and cons. But without the emotional signal arriving first, tagging certain options as dangerous or good, they struggled to actually decide anything at all. Fear, it turns out, isn't just noise interfering with rational thought. It's often the thing that makes a decision possible in the first place. So the flinch isn't a malfunction. It's a messenger. It's your amygdala trying to save your life using information that is millions of years out of date, it doesn't know that the loud bang was a car exhaust and not a spear. It only knows loud, sudden, and possible threat, and it acts on that alone. Here's where it gets stranger. This same ancient circuit doesn't just fire during car horns and jump scares. It fires during arguments, during a harsh email from your boss, during a text message that takes too long to get a reply. Your body treats social threat almost identically to physical threat, because for most of human history, being cast out of your group was a death sentence. No group meant no food, no protection, no one to help you survive the night. Social rejection lit up the same alarm as a predator, because in a very real sense, it was one. That's why a single unkind comment can make your chest tighten the same way a near miss on the highway does. Your amygdala isn't distinguishing between a saber-toothed cat and a passive-aggressive coworker. It's running the same ancient program either way. Fast, crude, better safe than sorry. You can't turn the system off. Nobody can. Even people who meditate for decades still flinch at a sudden noise. What changes with practice isn't the initial flinch. It's how quickly the slow road, the thinking brain, catches up and talks the fast road down. That gap between reaction and understanding never fully closes. It just gets shorter. Which raises an uncomfortable question. How many of your daily decisions do you think are calm and rational when they were actually made in that half second before your thinking brain even arrived? The car you didn't buy because the salesman felt off. The person you distrusted in the first 10 seconds of meeting them for reasons you couldn't articulate. The argument you started before you'd even processed what was said. Your amygdala got there first. Your reasoning brain just wrote the justification afterward and handed it to you as if it had been in charge the whole time. There's something almost humbling in that. You like to think of yourself as the author of your own reactions. Cool-headed, deliberate, but underneath that story, a much older, much faster system is constantly scanning for threats, deciding what matters before you've had a chance to weigh in, and only occasionally checking with the rest of you. It's not something to fear. It's something that kept your ancestors alive long enough for you to exist at all. Every flinch, every prickle at the back of your neck, every gut feeling you couldn't explain is an inheritance. A message passed down from every ancestor who survived long enough to pass on the gene for jumping first and asking questions later. So the next time a sound makes you jump before you know why, don't brush it off as irrational. It isn't. It's 100,000 years of survival, compressed into a quarter of a second, doing exactly what it was built to do. A car horn blares behind you. Your shoulders jump. And this time, you know exactly why.